because I still feel like America in general doesn't want to look at alcohol as a problem substance. I think that America wants to look at cigarettes as a problematic substance. It's talked about all the time, and it's like a law that you have to state it on the package that it can cause lung cancer and all this stuff. Alcohol doesn't have that, and it's such a large industry. I mean, you watch the Super Bowl commercials, for example, there are so many alcohol ads. People are drinking in the ads. Alcohol is such a big part of our life and our community and our economy, big time. And so I don't think people want to believe that it can really harm a society. And in COVID, I would like us to realize that it harmed our society. People, in my previous episode about alcoholism and using the word alcoholic, it states that somebody's an alcoholic if they depend on alcohol and if they drink to cover emotions or deal with stress, anxiety, and sadness. That's what it kind of labels alcoholism as. And I think that during the pandemic, a lot of us drank to cover up those feelings of stress, anxiety, sadness, whatever. It was such a confusing time, and it makes sense why we turned to alcohol. But if that's kind of the definition of problematic drinking, then I think a lot of people were drinking in a problematic way during the pandemic. And it makes me a little bit angry because, like, people who didn't struggle with alcohol and had a healthy relationship with alcohol developed a problem that's now completely changed their lives. And at least for me and probably most of the people listening, we've made it out. We won. We got sober, and we overcame any problems that we had with alcohol. But some people haven't, and they still have problems that remain if they're still alive on this earth. They're dealing with those problems, and people see, parents of their friends or, people in their community, people at their church, I don't know, in life, struggling with alcohol. And we see that. We see it in our communities. And yeah, lucky for us, we made it out. But some people are still dealing with that. In the pandemic, if you want to blame someone else, it's the freaking pandemic's fault that so many people developed alcohol problems. It's wild. And it brings me back to another episode that I did recently, the episode about how Gen Z drinks significantly less than the prior 3 generations. And one of the biggest reasons that baby boomers drank was because of World War II and dealing with the stress and anxiety around that. And here we are in modern times, 2020, drinking because of also a similar worldwide experience. World War II and the COVID-19 pandemic are obviously different. But going through this kind of universal experience of a lockdown and a pandemic and our lives changing and things closing and businesses plummeting. And, it was such a crazy time. And we were all going through that. And we all, or not all, but a lot of us turned to alcohol clearly by the stats. So it's consistent with previous generations. When worldwide crazy things happen, humans turn to alcohol to get help. And I think that's why in sobriety we learn, or it's so awesome that we learn so many amazing coping strategies. I talk about alcohol and ADHD and learning strategies to function in life better with ADHD. I talk about how to address feelings of sadness, feelings of anger in sobriety. Listen to my numbing with alcohol episode if you're interested in this topic. But when you kick out the substance that is so easy to turn to in those sad situations, you actually learn and develop skills to deal with what you're feeling in a much healthier way. Alcohol is a Band-Aid. You're going to have to address those issues later. Whereas coping strategies and dealing with them in sobriety and finding tools to address the problems, those are actual solutions. You are getting to the root of the problem. You're figuring out why you feel that way and how best to get yourself or pull yourself out of that situation. Sobriety is a much healthier way to learn about coping skills. Alcohol is the unhealthy way to deal with stuff, and a lot of people turn to alcohol in times of need. Clearly, that's what we did during the pandemic, during World War II. It's kind of the trend. So let's not be part of the next statistic, and let's stay healthy, stay sober, take care of ourselves, look out for ourselves, and work on dealing with life's ups and downs in a much healthier way.